What's going on? So I checked out The Grudge 2, the Japanese remake, or the American remake of the Japanese film The Grudge 2, or Juon 2. Yeah, it was released by Columbia Pictures October 13th, 2006. It was written by Steven Sisko, the writer of the original. It was produced by Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Taka Ichizi. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Yeah, they also all worked on the original. And it was directed by Takashi Shimizu, who did the originals. Who actually did the original Juon the Grudge. He also did a couple other of the Juon films, Juon the Curse, for example. Howling Village he's done, and he's also the director of the remake of his own movie, The Grudge, the one that I just talked about in the last video. So yeah, and now he's director of the remake of the sequel of that. So yeah, Grudge 2 is it continues on from the first film. Uh, you have the sister of Sarah Michelle Gellar's character in the original. Her mom is sick and is fearing for her daughter's safety and well-being over in Tokyo, and sends her other daughter, who hasn't been seeing eye to eye with her very much, to Tokyo to see if to see how she's doing and stuff, and try to bring her home. And when she goes over there, you see the fact that her sister is basically mentally going mentally insane with the way these spirits have been treating her and stuff like that, and no one really believes her, and she's at a psychotic breaking point, and they basically drive her to the point of insanity, and it doesn't go the way that she plans on bringing her home and stuff like that. Yeah, this film is a little bit predictable, but this time around they don't focus on just like a main like couple or anything like that. There is the handful of side little stories. Like when it opens up, you have group of chicks. This one Asian chick and this blonde, both babes. I've had a crush on them since the movie first came out. But yeah, that's another topic for some other time. But yeah, and yeah, so this new chick at their school, and they decided to take her to the house where all the hauntings were, and scare her. So they go in and they end up pissing off the spirit, basically. It's in the spirits, and they haunt them as well. So throughout the film, while the Sarah Michelle Gellar's character's sister is trying to figure out what happened to her sister, you have these little side stories of how these three dumb teenage girls are being affected by the spirits as well. And they are somewhat innovative. They definitely break the mold of what the first film set. This one's more of like shock and spooky jump scares and stuff like that, which the other one had like well crafted jump scares, but not always in your face. This one's a little different. They definitely try to go for more creepy way of doing it, and it has like a grim atmosphere to it a bit. But yeah, it's more like, okay, it's pretty predictable. Like the three girls, you're like, okay, they're all going to be affected at some point of like this, so you're going to see like at least one or two of them disappear, and then that's. But overall, this is a basic sequel. There wasn't very much new to it. It's more just a standard jump scare, creep you out a bit, and then they have this other weird subplot from when it opens up. There's some pretty funny moments in this one where there's some more like jokes and stuff like that, and like this is a couple that's not getting along very well in this apartment, and then that they just moved into, and the kids are sensing something weird's going on, but it was a little confusing at why the spirits are going after them as well. But yeah, but it explains it a bit in the film, but it's kind of pointless for that bit. I know in the third one they continue on from that point, but yeah. But for two, it wasn't really necessary having that. I thought that was just kind of like a waste of time, basically. But yeah, but overall, besides having some good-looking girls, the acting's mediocre in some spots, and it's okay. And visually and stuff like that, the ghosts and stuff were pretty generic for what you would expect for this, and was all right, but is very basic and predictable. That's the only thing. Like, there's no point of really rushing out to see this sequel. It doesn't bring anything, add pretty much anything new to it. It basically rehashes a lot of the old style way of spooking and setting up and rehashing that to make it effective in the sequel. They do a lot more exploring in like Japan and stuff, and like expanding it instead of keeping it all confined in one spot, though, which is a benefit, I thought, and it made it a little more visually appealing. So yeah, but there's too many pointless characters, and the basic one is just a basic story for the other main characters. So I was kind of looking for a little more something different, but I like the way it's set up. Just the way it proceeded after was pretty redundant, basic, and not overall appealing. So with that, The Grudge 2 is getting a 2.5 because it's just your generic horror film at this point. Yeah, out of 5. It's your typical mid 2000s ghost story. Nothing spectacular, nothing new. Having the Japanese director direct the remake of his own movie was a big thing, but then him doing the sequel is just like, here we go again. So yeah, overall, it's okay. It's amusing. I have a little sentimental value to it because it was one of the first few horror films I was able to see in theaters back in the day. Um, Going to see it with some friends and their parents and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of good memories, and it's a lot of like teen crushes, I guess you could say. But yeah, overall, it's okay. I've definitely seen way worse, but there's nothing really to write home about. It's just basic. So yeah, it's good to throw on your back. If it's a decent one, if you have someone who's not used to horror or anything, wanting to check out something a little more spooky, these are the type of movies you should put on. So yeah. Yeah, but with that, there's a trailer link down below if you want to check that out. If you want to see what I'm talking about, or if you want to relive what I'm talking about and you totally forgot this even existed, it's down there so you can check it out. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram. That's linked down below as well, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story, so make sure you follow me there. I usually put the film title in a hashtag somewhere in the video clip, and I do put the subgenre of film in there too, so if it's something you're not interested in, you're at least aware of it. So yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay in the loop. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of this down below, and also comment what's your favorite Grudge movie, if you have one. I'd love to hear what you think of it, of these films. And comment your opinions of the film down below. And also, if you have any films that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, or your film franchises, any subgenre at all, I'll watch anything. Comment those down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And also, make sure you subscribe, because usually you never know what I'm going to talk about next. But I'm probably going to check out all these Grudge movies just to see what they're like, at least the American ones anyways. So yeah, but till the next one, I guess I'll see you all in the next review. I don't really have anything else to say about this one. So yeah, so hopefully check out the next one soon, and until then, cheers.